So I didn't want to get political with this channel. I certainly didn't want to get so political so soon in my YouTube career, literally my second video in. But something happened yesterday which I think is worth talking about. So let's jump over onto Anti-Beeb, BBC News, Old Faithful, and we will discover what are the challenges facing the government's AI action plan. So basically yesterday, Starmer came out and he said that the Labour Party are going to roll out AI across the UK. Not sure what that really means because AI has been around for years now. But essentially I think what they want to do is push AI into every sort of facet of our lives, and I'm not sure that's going to be a good thing for the creative industries. Anyway, let's have a look. Prime Minister Kier Starmer has unveiled plans for the development of the UK's artificial intelligence AI industry, vowing to make Britain one of the great AI superpowers. Okay, a raft of proposals include new AI growth zones where the construction of key infrastructure such as data centres will be prioritised, and the development of a new supercomputer to boost the UK's computing power. But experts have highlighted serious challenges for the government, including the huge amounts of funding AI infrastructure projects and tricky questions about data security. So at the minute, if you're outside of the UK, I'm not sure how much you know about what life in Britain is like at the minute, but we've had a cost of living crisis pretty much like the rest of the world for, well, coming on to 5 years now, ever since COVID, really, and it hasn't gone away. In fact, it seems to be getting worse and worse. There's a lot of problems right now, and I'm not sure that AI is one that we can rely on to get us out of such issues. But again, my concern really is how this affects the creative industries. Quite selfishly, how is it going to affect me and you, the creator of music, film, video, TV, painting, everything, photography? It's going to revolutionise, but not necessarily for the better, in my opinion. So here we are on the government's action plan for change, milestones for mission-led government. This plan sets out the ambitious but achievable, that's open for debate, milestones we aim to reach by the end of this parliament. Our missions: growing the economy, an NHS fit for the future, safer streets, opportunity for all, and making Britain a clean energy superpower. Well, I mean, raising living standards in every part of the United Kingdom, so working people have more money in their pocket. Well, that's not going to happen because we're losing money. Everyone's worse off. So yeah, building 1.5 million homes in England, fast-tracking planning decisions. Yeah, ending hospital backlogs. Well, I mean, it's well documented that people are waiting in A&E car parks at the minute for like up to 24 hours, if not longer. So anything they can do to help that. I mean, everyone's going to be grateful if they can get people waiting no longer than 18 weeks for elective treatment. It baffles me that the NHS is sunken so low, but there's a lot of good people that work in the NHS, but I'm not sure it's fit for purpose. It's definitely not in its current state, but we'll see. Putting police back on the beat. I'm not sure how AI is going to achieve that without basically letting AI monitor all the cameras and things that we are. We're one of the most heavily surveilled countries in the world, I think, and it's just, I think you're going to need to, recruit officers, and I don't know. I'm not sure how AI is going to really do that. Giving children the best start in life. Well, I'm sorry, but putting VAT on private schools and things like that, basically making it really hard for lower income parents to ever get their kids to private school. You're going to put more strain on the state schools, and I'm not sure how that benefits anybody. I'm not sure how that's giving children the best start in life. Securing homegrown energy. I mean, that's So anyway, they're planning on rolling out AI in the UK in a greater scale than it's already being rolled out. I'm not sure if this is one of those things that politicians do where they say, we're going to do this thing, but really it's not something that they can control. People are going to adopt AI regardless. So it's kind of like, is this just one of those things where they try to take credit for something that isn't even in their ability to influence? I don't know. I'm waffling a little bit there. But what is this going to mean for me and you, the creator? Well, jumping over to the UN Trade and Development website, an article from last year, we've got replacement of human artists by AI systems in creative industries. Now, we, as creators across the skill spectrum, have felt this in some way. You've either seen your colleagues leave because businesses just can't afford to keep them, or it's more cost effective to replace them with computer generated AI, or you yourself have lost your job. So Anyway, this is from a year ago, so let's see what was occurring a year ago and see if it's changed at all. Since 2022, generative AI systems have made significant inroads into the creative industry, such as art, music, and creative writings, areas long considered the exclusive domain of humans. Just in the realm of artistic imagery alone, human creatives have been replaced in significant numbers in industries ranging from graphic design, illustration, to game design. Predictions of massive job losses have been confirmed by repeated waves of layoffs in 2023, 2024, and set to continue, I guarantee, in 2025, and probably get a lot worse across the entertainment industry, many of which are explicitly linked to the use of AI. It's easy for anybody to just go on to ChatGPT and ask them to write them a book and then try to publish it. It's easy for anyone to go on, any number of photo generator and generate thumbnails for YouTube or whatever. It is what it is, but graphic design moving forward is under real threat. I'm not sure anyone can make any money from content writing these days. If you do, and all power to you, you must be very, very good, because I just don't see how particularly small businesses are going to be able to afford to pay anybody to do this, particularly when ChatGPT is free, Google Gemini is free, all these platforms are free, and they'll just give you content, generic content, but still great content, and most of the time businesses just need generic content, unfortunately. But generative AI can also find new art styles of the next genre of popular music, which is long overdue, by scanning and filtering all possible genres of music and art. This answer assumes that the space of possible artistic styles is finite and searchable, which there's an argument for and against that, I suppose. However, in my experiences, this is the experiences of Ben Zhao. In my experiences of developing and optimizing tools that explore and disrupt style mimicry, we find that the number of distinct styles in art and music are nearly infinite. Well, fair enough. How will generative AI find the next version of hip-hop, a music genre? What's hip-hop? 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 Hip-hop. A musical genre that has transformed the music industry, has it? I don't know what it is. Sorry, I had to lose the shirt. It was getting too hot. Many historians trace the origins of hip-hop to a mixture of Black, Latino, and Caribbean youth in 1970s New York Bronx. How would future AI models find ways to identify and transform the human conditions into music so that it can connect with other humans sharing similar emotions and experiences? Well, that's my argument, I suppose. If we lose our pursuit of the creative arts, how are we going to maintain that we're pushing things forward and evolving? If music stays the same, if film stays the same, TV stays the same, it will be boring. It will be boring. And I can't see how AI, when it gets to the point where it takes over completely from humans, if it ever does, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, I don't see how it's going to keep moving us forward in different directions. Like hip hop, I've never heard of it, or if I have, I'm not aware of it. I'll have to Google it in a minute to see what it is. But that won't come about if AI stays the way it is. It's going to have to become a sentient being. It's going to have its own emotional sort of blueprint that's going to make it think, I want to explore this, I want to explore that, because that's what we do as creatives. We explore things like a David Bowie type that just pushes the boundaries of music. They're the people that keep us innovative. And if AI is just talking to AI and it's learning from itself, then surely it'll get to a point where it's just a feedback loop, constantly saying, oh, this is great, this is brilliant, and it might completely miss the mark. I wonder if that's already taken effect in some industries. You look at Hollywood and music, really. I haven't had a song resonate with me for a long time, a film or a TV show resonate with me for a long time. You talk to 19, 20-year-olds right now, they're listening to music from before I was born, because it has substance in it and it has longevity, whereas music these days just doesn't seem to have that. Obviously there are bands that you come across and you think that's a great sound, but most of their sounds are based in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, so how is AI going to do that? Part of this is because appreciation of music and other artistic mediums is subjective and fundamentally based on human tastes. For an AI model to understand and predict how humans do or do not appreciate a specific style, it would have to first understand human emotions. Contrast this with other domains like software engineering, where success or failure is clearly defined, usually in a design document. So again, how is it going to mirror the creative pursuit? There's something inherent in us as human beings that we love art, we love stories, and we're constantly trying to tell stories and learn from them, and we're going to have to input that into a computer in order to get that out. I'm not sure if that's even beneficial. It might be, it might well be, but in the short term it's not not at all. Taking this perspective, it's not hard to understand why current research predicts that AI models trained on their own input will eventually collapse. Yeah, I mean, if it stays how it is, which is generative based off learned traits, it can innovate, and therefore it's no threat to us. But it's not going to stay there, is it? That's the thing. It's not going to stay in that model of, almost show me, tell me type thing. So, moving forward into another article by Harvard Business Review. This is from April 2023, so going back a couple of years now. How generative AI could disrupt creative work. I mean, this is a year and a bit old because we're right at the beginning of 2025 when I'm making this, but we can already see how this is taking shape and taking effect. The creator economy is currently valued at around $14 billion per year. I wonder if that's gone up or down since then. Probably down. Enabled by new digital channels, independent writers, podcasts, artists, and musicians can connect with audiences directly to make their own incomes. And that's why we love the internet, because we can reach out to people and, we can bring them closer to us. You can have almost a personal relationship with the artists you love, which is brilliant. And that's really what I think in the 90s, people were musicians, when the internet and file sharing became, obviously the way it was going to go. I think a lot of musicians, especially independents and hobbyists even, thought this is great because we're going to be able to share our stuff with more people and we're going to get big and we're going to blow up and it's going to, shove aside all the gatekeepers type thing. Well, obviously it didn't turn out that way, but for some it did and for others it didn't. In the face of technological change, creativity is often held up as a uniquely human quality, less vulnerable to the forces of technological disruption and critical for the future, because to this point it always has been. It's always been something that you needed a human to do. You always needed somebody to paint a picture, to take a photograph, or to make a film. Well, the future is in doubt in that regard. So indeed, behavioural researchers even call the skill of creativity a human masterpiece, which it truly is. It truly is something that makes us unique, and it's not something I think that we should willingly just give away. If we do, to my mind, it's almost like undoing everything that we've always done. If you think of like cave paintings where you can see the handprint on the cave wall, well, that's a hand almost reaching through time, isn't it? You can almost see the person that did that. And you can almost touch them. If you could touch them, you probably can't touch them these days, but you know what I mean. Today, however, generative AI applications such as ChatGPT and Midjourney are threatening to upend this special status and significantly alter creative work, both independent and salaried. So, yeah, I mean, creative work isn't something that you can just throw together in 2 minutes or a minute or 30 seconds and it'd be brilliant and it'd be great. And even if you could do that once, you couldn't do that over and over again. And so, I make my living through creative pursuits. It was my ambition to do that from an early age, and I've been lucky that that's been a thing. Looking 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, I don't see how that's going to be a thing, and I think that's devastatingly sad for that next generation. It's sad enough for me because I'm probably going to have to live through it, but for that next generation, you think those kids that are going to uni now, those jobs that they're training for probably won't be there by the time they leave university, which then calls into doubt, why would you go to university? Why would you do anything like that? And so, AI is set to just completely upend everything, to my mind. Maybe I'm worrying about nothing, but that certainly seems the way it's going to go. So they have 3 possible futures, according to Harvard Business Review. So what could they be? Well, an explosion of AI-assisted innovation. And that's what really everyone is looking for, isn't it? We want to be able to be supported by AI in order to enable us to do those great works and do those great things. Today, most businesses recognize the importance of adopting AI to promote the efficiency and performance of its human workforce. For example, AI being used to augment healthcare professionals' jobs, performance in high-stakes works, advising physicians during surgery, and using it as a tool in cancer screening. I mean, you can't argue against that. Any kind of assistance on that front would be amazing. It's saving lives, it's helping people to save lives, and you can't, to my mind, form an argument against that. It's also being used in customer service, a low-stakes context, and robotics is used to make warehouses run with greater speed and reliability, as well as reducing cost. And it comes down to that at the end of the day. Reducing cost, it's like, I get why that is a great thing for business owners, especially small business owners. But at the end of the day, that reducing cost is wage, isn't it? It's people's wages. And so you're going to destroy people's abilities to make a living, and that's going to have a devastating knock-on effect to everything else, isn't it? As a product designer, you're going to need an end user, as well as all the steps in between. in order to make, the economic viability of your product. If I'm making a cup, I don't know why it'd be a cup, but if I'm making a cup, then I need to know that there's someone that can help me make the cup. I need to know that there's going to be a logistics firm that's going to help me get that product all over the country, all over the world. And then I need to know that there's going to be a warehousing worker that's going to be able to store the product before it's bought. And then I need another logistics person to take it to a shop or whatever. And then I'm going to need someone to be able to buy it. Now, if those jobs aren't there, how are they going to earn a living and how are they going to be able to afford to be able to buy products? So the product designer right at the beginning of that product's life goes, well, is it even worth me now designing this product? Again, maybe I'm going to the extreme, but that just seems to be the way it's going to go. Machine monopolized creativity, and this is my big fear. A second possible scenario is that unfair algorithmic competition and inadequate governance leads to the crowding out of authentic human creativity. I think that is obviously the way it's going to go, particularly if it's pushed by governments and things. If you're a filmmaker, then AI has taken away your ability to earn money. Well, then you're going to go and find another job. You may think, well, boo-hoo to you, go and get another skill that isn't replaceable. But this is just the first step, isn't it? This is the first step, and then look at that doctor. Well, that doctor's going to be irrelevant pretty soon. Because why would we leave it up to human error when we could just put it into the hands of a robot, which we know is going to be meticulous and literally robotic? The whole of society is just going to shift, isn't it? It's just going to turn, and it's going to be strange. I mean, I'm not sold that any government in the world has an answer to that, or any kind of political system. Human-made commands is the third scenario. The third potential scenario that we could see develop is one where techlash resumes with a focus against algorithmically generated content. And I can see that happening. I can see that happening against technology in general. It's one thing that generations like to do, and that's rebel against their previous generation. I can see a day where there's a youth movement that comes together and says we're not going to use the internet. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I can definitely see a world in which that becomes something that a youth movement might want to do. And I'm not sure that we're going to be able to maintain a really, really high standard which is pushing things forward and bring through the next generation in particular of screenwriters, filmmakers, photographers, graphic designers, whatever, when there's not going to be any money that they can earn. Because why would you pursue this if there's never going to be a way to earn a lot of money or earn a lot of status or whatever it is? Why would you do this? Why would you get yourself into masses of debt by going to university to learn all this stuff if there's no monetary reward, if there's no career opportunity? And unfortunately, if we go back to the main article that I was reading, which caused me to want to make this, I just don't see how the government's action plan of rolling out AI is going to do anything but handcuff the creative industry, which is responsible for generating quite a lot of money, or at least it was in 2023, as we saw. Obviously, we're fighting the tide. In many ways, AI is here. It's not going away, and it's going to have a knock-on effect to every aspect and facet of life. I don't think it's great news that AI is a hyper-focus for the government, but I suppose our saving grace is that they are a Labour government, and this Labour government in particular seem to be extremely incompetent. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe. But let me know in the comments below, how is AI affecting your career and your job prospects? Best of luck to anyone out there that has already been replaced by AI, and best of luck to the rest of us who are just about to be replaced by AI, most probably. Thank you to everyone that liked the previous video. If you liked what I've just highlighted, please do feel free to like this one and to subscribe if you want more. If you like this kind of daily content, let me know. And there's about 1 million articles that are published every minute that we can talk about, so let me know if you like it and I'll make some more. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.